Good evening. Welcome to the Tewksbury Conservation Commission meeting of January 8th, 2020. All right. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from December 18th. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of December 18th?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Before we continue, I want to go through the items that we will not hear tonight because the applicant has requested a continuance. Item D, public hearing, notice of intent, Richard Montori, Town of Tewksbury, 135 Pleasant Street, map 47, lot 40, DEP number 3051103. The applicant is requesting a continuance to February 5th. Is there anybody here for that? Okay, that's not going to be heard, so if you can hang around, you're more than welcome to. Yeah. Item E, public hearing, notice of intent, John Mangano, 371 Foster Road, map 57, lot 207, DEP number 3051104. This applicant is also requesting a continuance to February 5th, 2020. Is there anyone here for that? That's not going to be heard tonight. It won't be heard till February 5th.
Can I pose a question based on the future meeting then? Because, I mean, that was the main reason why I was showing up today.
Well, we're not going to be discussing anything, but you can ask a question. You're more than welcome to.
So,
You have to come up and state your name.
What is the question regarding the proposal?
yes,
So it wouldn't be, because we're not opening the public hearing tonight, so we can't hear about the project. You are more than welcome to call my office and ask me questions if you have something.
okay. I can do that.
Okay.
Business card or with your.
I can write my number down for you.
Okay, as she's doing that, I'll continue. There will be no January 22nd meeting of the Conservation Commission. We will not have a quorum, so our next meeting will be February 5th. All right. Next on the agenda is item A, public
Here you go.
hearing, notice of intent. Richard Montori, Town Manager, 984 Main Street, map in lot 47, 79, 47, 80, 48, 81, and 4893, DEP number 3051073. If you can come up to the desk, to the table, introduce yourself. And after you do that, I am going to have our Conservation Commissioner read a summary of what was said before, because Mr. Robacher was not in attendance to that previous meeting. Okay, and you can
Great.
introduce.
My name is Lance Hill. I'm with PAR Corporation, civil engineering firm. We're working with HKT Architecture. I have Janet is here in the audience as well with HKT. We're representing the town on a proposed fire station on this site.
Okay, if you can read the summary for the record.
So this is just a summary of the public hearing for March 20th, 2019. So the consultant gave an introduction to the project and reviewed the proposed site plans and resource area impacts. It was noted that access to the building is proposed off Main Street, with parking proposed in a lot behind the building, separated from the main lot by a National Grid easement. Access to the back parking lot would be from Woodland Drive. They discussed the challenges that they are facing due to wetland resource areas, including floodplain and riverfront area, and they reviewed various design options that were considered but would not work due to greater wetland impacts and because it did not meet the parking needs for the project. They discussed how they are minimizing wetland impacts and gave an overview of stormwater design for the site. The public hearing was opened. Concerns were raised in regards to parking lot being constructed within a residential area and access coming off of Woodland Drive, which is a dead-end street. It was noted that there were many outstanding comments from the commission's peer review consultant. The public hearing was continued to allow for additional time to address the concerns. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, great. Since the meeting, and I'm a little bit surprised that it was March 19th, that was almost a full year ago. Time flies, I guess. There's been a lot that has transpired with the site. I brought the site plan presentation board of what was presented at the time, and if I may, I'll walk over. Main Street, Route 38 is here. Proposed fire station is located on this site here. Access to and from, as Stefania had mentioned, was off of Main Street. The town owns the property back towards the rear of the property. At the time when we were presenting this, there was not enough space on the property up here to accommodate the parking. So we were looking at this rear portion that was accessing off of Woodland Drive. As you can see, there's a number of resource areas that were impacted because of that. After that meeting, we heard a lot of the concerns here, and we're moving forward with the design. The town has entered into some negotiations with some of the abutting property owners in the front, and it looks like there's some resolution here to accommodate some of that parking in the front of the building. When that happens, there would not be a need to install parking towards the rear here. So we're really here as a kind of an update. It's been a long time. We wanted to update you on the project, where we stand, and just kind of talk about what our next steps would be. So just want to show what the proposed project would be. You see here that everything would be associated with the front of the lot. Some parking on the parcel that is just located in front of what the proposed fire station would be, and some additional parking on an adjacent parcel that already is paved now to share some of that parking with the property. This is the Bank of America property here. The parking that we're showing here is you would be utilizing the existing paved area behind that Bank of America as parking for the fire station. When that happens, it eliminates the majority of the resource area impacts, and what we're left with here is a small triangle piece here that would be within the 100-foot buffer zone.
This is a public hearing. Would anybody like to ask any questions? Seeing none. Board members, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Nope, I'm all set.
In the red area, it's within the 100 feet. How far is it within the 100 feet, put it that way?
So this would be the 50, and that would be the 100.
The 100.
So it's about 20 feet in.
So it doesn't impact anything.
No, and it's a previously disturbed site. The area of disturbance is very minor in this case.
Okay.
If this were a project that we're just starting today, we would likely have filed a RDA, I would imagine, and try to see where that led. But for the fact that the notice of intent was filed before on the overall site, we felt that it was appropriate to keep the project open, bring it in as an update, and close out the project.
Right, so you're beyond the 50, so that shouldn't be an issue. I don't see an issue with that. And the parking is the Bank of America, which is not going to change. You're not going to add any pavement or fill or anything.
We're not adding any pavement. As we progress down, we may address the pavement, in terms of the condition that it's in. If you repave, let's say. But there wouldn't be an addition of pavement. In fact, there'd probably be a slight reduction of pavement where we're adding a couple of islands here. And the other thing to note is all of the drainage here is flowing out to a subsurface system that is now coming down to Main Street. There would be no wetland impact associated with that drainage.
And the additional parking in the front is a town lot, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this parking here would be for the private owner that was here. That's part of the negotiation with the parcel here.
Okay.
But in order to accommodate that, the town would need some additional paved area here to circulate some of the equipment through.
I don't have any issue with anything, Stefania?
No, I mean, this is a huge improvement. The only thing I will mention is stormwater. So it will still go through the review process with the town because it is a notice of intent. So the town engineer will review that. So once you have a completed application with everything for your stormwater, then I can get that to him and get that review started. Okay?
Okay, since that's all solved, and again, nobody in the public would like to speak, we're going to continue this. Do you want to continue to the next meeting, or do you have a specific meeting date?
I would like to continue to the next meeting if appropriate. I understand that you're not meeting on the 22nd,
Correct.
so it would be the first meeting in February.
Okay, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to continue, where was I?
February 5th.
It's going to be February 5th. I'll entertain a motion to continue notice of intent. Richard Montori, Town Manager, 984 Main Street, map and lot 47 through 79, 47 through 80, 48 through 81, and 48 through 93, DEP number 3051073. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you. We'll see you on February 5th. Okay. All right, next on the agenda, item B is continued from December 18, 2019. Public hearing, notice of intent, John Faneros, ACC Realty, 1037 North Street, in 1547, 1553, 1563 Andover Street. Map 39, lots 45 through 48, DEP number 3051077. If you can come up and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the record. Andy Street Civil Design Consultants.
Mira Alanoli, Civil Design Consultants.
Thank you.
So I guess similarly to the previous project, this is a update, check-in type meeting. We haven't been here in a little bit. And some things have happened since the last time we were here. We came here last with the concept on the left over here. This is the last submission we provided for this project. So just to give a broad overview, this is about acre and a half, a little over acre and a half at the intersection of Andover and North Street. That last proposal was for 16 units with an access drive coming off of Andover Street here, with a turnaround in the middle here, and then these 16 units spread out over those 5 buildings. There's a bordering vegetated wetland just off the property here to the southern property lines with those buffer zones extending. This is the 100, if I can keep my hands steady, that's about the 100, and then the 50 and the 25 all extend onto the property. So we've kind of all along, we've been at this for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 months, something like that, and all along have had this pervious pavement system for the driveway and access aisles that would manage and treat stormwater. And we plan to continue that. So since we brought this forward to both this commission and the planning board, the fire department came back and expressed some concerns about access around this turnaround here, saying that they needed to be able to fully navigate that without the need to do a 3-point turn. So that current layout, they can get about 2/3, 3/4 of the way around and get fairly close to all the units, but they wanted the ability to pull up in front of each one of those units without needing to stop back up and turn more. So in order to, let me say this layout is something the planning board really liked. The last time we spoke, it felt like this commission was generally okay with that layout as well. So we wanted to try and maintain this configuration, but in order to accommodate that, we wind up with this layout you have on the right here. So as you can see, the general configuration is the same. It's the same number of units. It's 16 units spread out over the 5 buildings. Access is the same. The porous pavement will all be in place, all these types of things. The biggest change, this building here, this building 5, has to slide back in order to expand the width and the turning radius that goes around this turnaround. And when that building slides back, a portion of it winds up in the 50-foot no-build zone. And as you know, I'm sure you're well aware that there are some provisions in the local bylaw for building in that 50-foot if it is unavoidable. And in this case, we feel like it all but is because we're trying to accommodate the fire department there. So we've, the first provision is to make sure we're under 10%, which we do hit. There's less, the 50-foot is really all this area down in here. And we are building the structure in less than 10% of that total area. As far as future development and no disturbance markers, we'll be providing those markers. Those we've had on the plan for a little while now, and we'll continue to have those, and those would be installed should this project go to construction. The area itself, primarily down in this 25-foot area here, it's disturbed. There's some invasive species. There's some piles of gravel that have just kind of accumulated over the years. That's another thing we've talked about previously, and that gets cleaned up, smoothed out, the invasives removed, the gravel removed and replanted, and just a better area there. So in general, that whole 50-foot area will wind up in a better condition than it is today. And in regards to future development in that area, this building, we're going to be having a very similar conversation to this on Monday with the planning board, because this building also goes into the 50-foot building setback. So we'd need a waiver from them to do this as well. So any future development is highly unlikely, because that person or that applicant would have to go back and get permission to build within 50 feet of a building setback. So they need kind of dual permission there. So I don't see any real potential for future expansion in that 50-foot no disturb zone there. So like I said, we're here. This is a conceptual layout. What you're looking at is really just, that's as far as we've taken it at this point. Wanted to bring to the commission, one, just to kind of check in, because it has been a while since we've been here, and also get some feedback, because we are impacting new resource areas here. And I think the last question I'd ask too is previously, so there's been lots of concern about stormwater impacting this residence here. And previously we had this swale that moved from the North Street side down to the corner-ish of the property here, which is generally where water goes today. We know there's a solution to provide something similar here. We think the best solution could involve some minor grading, kind of shaping the earth in that 25-foot no disturb zone in order to make that work. And the only reason I'm bringing that up as an option, because I know that is a no disturb zone, is that we will be in that area anyway, to clean it up, really, to get the gravels out of there, invasives, all that. So that'd just be the last piece that it would be great to get some feedback on, if that kind of general grading, this isn't, I'm not talking about a channel or anything substantial, but just kind of reshaping that earth in order to push water to where it goes today. So with that, we're happy to field any questions and receive input.
That area is all grass, correct?
There's some trees back there, some trees. I mean, it's disturbed
That's the
kind
neighbor's-
of through here, and there's some trees through here, and then down in here, it's
But
kind of
that,
grassy.
the trapped water there, that's all grass that they mow
Down in this area.
right there, yeah.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard from the abutter, it
It
gets
is
so
low.
wet that you
Yeah.
can't sometimes, but yeah, in
Yeah,
general,
in a-
it's,
in a-
in general, it's grass.
Okay.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Would anybody like to speak or have any questions? Seeing none. Board members, Mr. Rybacker, you have any questions?
The only thing is you keep saying 16 units, but it looks like there's 18.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, yes, there are 18 units.
That's all.
My apologies, yeah.
Otherwise, okay.
He just answered my question, I'm good.
Okay. What is the total 50-foot, square foot, 50-foot buffer?
So we are just under that 10% threshold. We're disturbing about 690 square feet of that buffer zone. So that's about 9.7, 9.8%. So we're kind of right there, but we, We are under the 10%, yeah. And, you know, we looked at this a lot of different ways to try and minimize that, and it's just kind of what we had to do to get that fire truck around.
Okay, that was the question I had. So you're right at the finish mark.
Correct,
You
yeah.
Stefan, any questions?
Let's see. The only thing I had mentioned before is that just make sure to include a narrative that explains how it's unavoidable.
Sure.
Just because that is part of what it says in the bylaw. And then the only other thing I would mention is if you are going to propose the regrading of the no disturb zone, I understand that you're gonna be in that area anyways to remove some of the gravel and the berm that's back there. Would there need to be maintenance of the regrading, long-term, or would it be that the area could revegetate? So what would be required?
Yeah, I mean, the intent would be it would just be grass, I guess, so you could mow it and maintain it that way, similar to just, as you mentioned, on the other side of the property line, but it's really just the earth being shaped, so it's just,
Yeah.
it's a small,
Well, the
gently
water
graded
table's
swale.
high there, but when
It is.
it dries out, it goes down, and I see the guy
Right.
mowing it, you know.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I would anticipate, is it being just maintained like that.
Okay. That would be my only comment, is that the commission will need to decide if they're okay with the maintenance in the no disturb zone.
And as part of what will come next, should we continue with this layout, would be, you know, revised landscape plan, and we could show some plantings, you know, appropriate for the area and the resource areas and things like that too. So kind of mix and match between the swale and vegetation and things like that.
Any other questions? I'm good. Okay. We are going to continue this, and when would you like to continue it to, since every time we've been continuing this thing for...
Yeah,
It
trust me,
just-
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you like the next meeting, or would you like to be further out, or?
I would like the next meeting, yeah. I mean, we'll be at planning Monday and hope to have some direction like we received tonight from them, and then we're gonna be full steam ahead with the final design and turn this into a plan set and get it back to both this commission and the planning board, so,
Yeah.
I would like to continue. the
And
next
if we
meeting.
can note on somewhere on the plan, or even what she was saying, that it's at the 10% on 9.8.
Yes, yeah, we'll make that very clear, yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
want that to be clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't want somebody sitting there saying, okay, I'm here sitting here trying to do
Sure,
math, and I'm not
yeah,
very good at
yep.
it, you know? So since there's no more questions, I'll entertain a motion to continue to February 5th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you
See
very much.
February
Thank
5th. Okay, so next item on the agenda is item C, public hearing, request for determination of applicability, Mullane Construction LLC, 667 Whipple Road, map 19, lot 27. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. This is Foster Road. I don't have that one. Do we have a plan for this one?
What do you go with that, plan?
I go right into the school. Okay, we'll use this one. All right, if you can introduce yourself for the record.
Hi, my name is Steve Mullane.
All right, and what are we up to?
Request for determination of applicability,
Okay,
667 Whipple Road.
Stefania, any issues?
No, so the work is in the, close to the 100-foot buffer zone, so there's just some grading and a small little corner of the new house that's going to be in the buffer zone. So the only thing I would recommend is that we just maintain the no disturb zone with an erosion control, just so we understand where we'll stop the work.
The 25-foot line, right?
Yep.
Yep,
No, the
okay.
50-foot line.
The 50,
Want the
Well-
25?
well, I think you have planned to grade up to the 25 foot.
Yes.
But the building is within the 100 feet, correct?
This is
This-
100 foot.
This is the 100 foot, so, okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem. This is a
Yes.
public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this? Please go up to the microphone. If you can introduce, state your name.
Yes, my name is Christian Labonte. I am the owner of 655 Whipple Road.
Okay?
I have some concerns with, like, there's already been some people there at that property to look at it, and they've been on my property. So where the property lines and everything, I just want to make sure that it's not going to interfere with my house.
Did you want to take a look at the plans?
Can I?
Yeah.
Because I have these here too. So it would be about here. So I guess my biggest concern. Can I come up there?
Yeah.
That's fine, yeah. Is like, people have been on here on my property so far. And this is the
This is
property, the
this?
one, yes, and this is 655, that's me.
Are you aware of anyone that's?
I
Oh,
don't
you
know
know
where your
what?
property
Maybe, so the wetlands had to be flagged for this project,
my house.
so they had to survey those
This
lines
is
to
the
be,
property they're
and
building.
it's, I
So
mean,
this-
it's possible that some of the wetlands,
On my property.
No, I'm just trying to.
I mean,
so
we're
this
on
is
your
my new
property. I
proposed
know
house.
I had to go
That's
out
where
there
the
and
old
check the
house was there,
wetlands,
right?
and I try to stay
So
on this
where were they-
property, but
where
I
were
have
you?
to,
This over here?
I'm over there.
Oh, on the right.
okay.
National Grid's been digging over there.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know that, I've gotten to disagree with
Well,
that as well.
yeah, I mean,
And
that
that's
has
not
nothing,
you.
that has nothing to do with me, yeah.
No, no.
I own
I
troubles.
guess my biggest concern
Yeah.
is the gas line.
Okay, we got to get back
I want to make sure
to
you're not going to hit that.
the public.
Oh, I don't
hearing.
want to hit it, believe me.
Can you see my concern though?
No, 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 yeah, definitely. Well, you're talking about,
Gas guys have been up in here, and they've been taking trees down and
that they have an easement there.
If we could just make sure to speak into the microphone, we have to make sure that everyone's being,
No, sorry. We're just discussing, his people haven't been here yet. Everyone that's been there, I guess, is with National Grid, which
Oh.
I've had my own issues with them.
Okay.
Just coming onto my property and not telling me. So, but your proposal is the same spot where the house used to be.
Roughly, not exactly, but very close, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where the house was, to be honest with you, but it looks like it was right
It
in
looks
that
about
area.
that.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember I grew
Yeah.
up in this house, so.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, just want to make sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So with that, just try, inform her if you're going to be anywhere near her property or on her property. That's all you have to do.
Okay,
I
That's fair enough.
understand her concern.
yeah.
okay.
Okay, so this is a public hearing, and anybody else like to speak? Seeing none. Okay, so we don't have an issue other than adding the erosion control.
Yep.
Yeah. Board members, do you have any questions?
Well, one comment, is stay away from that gas line.
Yeah.
So what do we need a negative?
All right, it'd be nice to see something in there, clean the place up.
Yep.
I'm good.
The condition.
yeah, I'm okay also.
Okay, so now we're going to entertain a motion for a negative determination of Mullane Construction LLC, 667 Whipple Road, map 19, Lot 27, with the contingency that erosion controls be used at the 25-foot buffer. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Yeah, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. You're all set. Thank
All
you.
set?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is continue. We already mentioned that, but I'll mention it again just in case somebody showed up late. Notice of intent, Richard Montori, Town of Tewksbury, 135 Pleasant Street, map 47, lot 40, DEP number 3051103. Applicant is requesting a continuance to February 5th. We've already voted on it, so nobody's here for the 135, correct? Item E was also continued, but I'll read it again anyways. Notice of intent, John Mangano, 371 Foster Road, map 57, lot 207, DEP number 3041104. That applicant has also asked continuance to February 5th, which was already voted on. Last on the agenda is request for certificate of compliance, Jack Berube, 29 Sandy Lane, map 94, lot 361, DEP 3051081. And if you can introduce yourself for the record, sir?
Good evening. Jack Barabee, 2543 Main Street, Tewksbury. I'm here
Okay.
for a certificate of compliance at 29 Sandy Lane.
Stefania, any issues?
No, so I was out there, the only thing I mentioned is the erosion control should just stay in place until the grass has a little bit more time to grow in the spring. And then the commission should just take a look at the letter that just explains how the plans were deviated from. But I think a lot of it just has to do with a basic layout of the house was asked for and approved in an order of conditions, and then they made adjustments, and that does happen. Like decks are added after. So if the commission is okay with that, then I don't see an issue with approving the certificate of compliance.
Okay, I don't see any issues either. Gentlemen, any issues?
No, no issues.
Okay.
I was down there today, it looks good. A tight lot for sure.
Are they all down there?
Yeah. It looked really good.
Yeah, thank you.
So I request a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for Jack Berube, 29 Sandy Lane, map 94, lot 361, DEP 3051081. Can I have a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
In the morning.
What's that?
I will have your permit in the morning.
As usual, we're getting close to time to get it,
Yeah.
to convey the property, so.
All right, next
All right,
on the
thank you for your
agenda
time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
is old business. Any old business?
Nope.
Any new business?
Nope.
We had no bites on new members.
Not that I am aware of, but I
Okay.
can follow up.
I don't have any other than the other new businesses. Again, I just want, I want to reiterate that we will not be meeting on on January 22nd. Our next meeting will be on February 5th, 2020. So that's it. No more new business. Administrator report.
Nothing.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Good night.